Okay, so I just want to first start this rant off by saying that everything that I'm going to say is strictly my opinion and my opinion alone. I haven't talked about this situation with anybody, I don't think, in depth. But I'm wearing a hat right now because I don't have any hair, and it's very cold in my car. But it's my opinion, and if anybody truly cared about what my opinion is, then I would get a well-written, well-thought-out response. But because nobody really cares about each other's opinions, I mostly just get, well, you're racist and you're ignorant, some garbage like that. But that's besides the point. Now, I wanted to talk about this whole situation with the kid who got arrested in 5th period lunch, I think, yesterday. I don't remember. But basically, and I'm putting this up on the internet, so I have to change names around. We're going to call him Xavier. That's a dumb name. Alexander. Let's just call him Alexander. So, we have a kid named Alexander in 5th period who was... It's the UPS guy. You have a kid named Alexander in 5th lunch, just going about his business, when the school resource officer, or the SRO, rolls up, and he was denying officer requests, or I don't know what the proper legal term is, but he was basically not doing what the cop asked him to do, and so for that, he was put in handcuffs and taken out of the lunchroom. And that's a startling sight. And it came out later that he had been caught with, I think it was either some kind of pills or marijuana, one of the two, on school grounds. And I just wanted to take a quick minute, mostly because I'm bored, but I wanted to take a quick minute and talk about this, because it's something that I feel like this school doesn't address properly, and I don't think it does a very good job from keeping something like that from happening again. So, basically, I just want to start off by saying, if you're going to do drugs, or you're going to sell drugs, bring it anywhere but school, okay? I mean, if you have people that bring alcohol, and they bring drugs, and they bring sex toys and stuff like that to school, then it's an obvious cry for attention. It's a cry for help, because they're hurting in some way, and they need the attention, but they don't know how to get it positively, so they have to get it the only way that they know how, which is negatively. If you wanted to get it positively, be a star athlete, make straight A's or something like that. But since today's generation, and I'm speaking from my perspective on my own generation, since today's generation, the millennials, are so incredibly lazy and we expect handouts, we're very dramatic, and we're very extra, I guess it's called. And we do stupid things without thinking. Even though that's just a human thing to do, it can still be prevented, and it can still be undone. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, what he was doing was literally a cry for help, because he's hurting in some way, probably because of his family. I'm just taking a wild guess. And he did a stupid thing that not only has ruined his school career, but it's going on his permanent record, which stays with you after high school and after college. And if you get caught with drugs, I'm surprised that they didn't call the real cops to come and take him to jail. Like, if you threaten to kill someone, or you threaten to, shoot up the school, they take you to jail. They don't take you into the counseling office or the principal's office and say, well, what's your problem? Why did you do this? They don't just give you a slap on the wrist and then set you free. They take you straight to jail, or they take you to a psychiatric hospital. Like, that's serious, man. And it would have been a lot worse had a real cop caught him with illegal drugs. And it's this whole thing that goes back to this whole, what was it, Lonnie the Legend? I don't remember what his name was, but the kid who mooned the cafeteria the other week, he literally has child pornography, and he is technically a registered sex offender now for the rest of his life. He has ruined his life over a bet. That is the dumbest... I'm kind of at a loss for words, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But more or less, you have these two kids in the span of like a week or two that have gone and ruined themselves completely for the rest of their lives because they wanted to do something stupid. What he would have done with the drugs, I don't know. And I'm allowed to state Lonnie's name because it's an internet persona that he has on SoundCloud. So I'm allowed to... Anyways, like... What was it? Anyways. It just... I think the school handled it not the right way. I think they definitely should have called the cops, and I think it represents a bigger problem at Mill Creek. Hence the fact that Mill Creek should have called the cops, and they should have taken him to jail, but because that Mill Creek is sponsored by big companies and we have such a good reputation, and the school is so super massive, they didn't. Because they care about how much money is going through the school, and they care about, well, our reputation is good, therefore the superintendent is going to throw a few extra bucks our way. And here's my thing. If you go into teaching knowing that the pay is bad, and then you still complain about the pay, what is your problem? I mean, I understand that you do have a tough job, and you're getting underpaid, but why would you go into something to get paid as much as a minimum wage worker? My mom was a high school teacher before my sister was born. My younger sister at that. And she tells me stories of all the... Because she worked at, like, Meadow Creek, Lawrenceville, just, like, the really bad areas. And I hear these scary stories all the time about, like... you know... X-kid got caught with whatever gang. This kid tried to burn down the theater as gang initiation. There was a teacher that got his arm broken in a fight. There was a kid that got caught with drugs in my class. They had canine units coming in and sniffing lockers and coming through classes. And they told us, don't look at the dogs, don't touch the dogs, don't even acknowledge them. Just go throughout your day. Ignore the dogs. Like, they would not do that at Mill Creek because it would cause mass hysteria. And it is simply because the school is too big that they can't address the whole drugs issue. Because I can point out 17 people, probably more, easily, that will sell you drugs at this point in time. I don't care what you do in your free time or whatever hobbies you might have, because it's your life. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna beat you down because you have some strange interest. I have strange interests myself. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to do something dumb, do it behind closed doors. Don't do it out in public. Don't bring it to a public area. Don't do it in a place where you're going to get caught and you're going to get in a lot of trouble. So that's really all I wanted to say about the issue, I guess. But again, it's my opinion. My opinion is invalid in the wave of however many hundreds of people get. Actually, there's one more point I want to make. I think the whole free Roman thing is very pathetic. I think supporting a drug user or a drug dealer who is it was clearly at a low point in his life is not a good thing to do. How do I put it? People are saying free Roman not because they know him or they like him, but it's because it's a rebellious teenage anti-authority phase. And you have a lot of teenagers nowadays who will say, man, screw the pigs, screw the cops, all they do is go around and kill black people. That's not true. Do your research before you say something stupid, please. But I think it's because people are so insecure about themselves and they have so little of their own identity that they latch on to whatever the group says. You know, you have the people that are high and mighty, you know, the practical gods amongst men, and then you have the low-down peasants, which is literally 95% of the population. So that's why we need to stop looking at the 5%ers to dictate our every move in life, to dictate how we think and how we talk and how we act. And we need to be individuals and form our own opinions based on our own thoughts and our own experiences and what we see morally and ethically fit. So that's all I really wanted to say. Keep in mind that my opinion is my opinion. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like yours, but because we're in America, we have to respect each other's rights to free speech. And if you try to infringe on my right, then that makes your right of free speech invalid. Keep that in mind, please. And I think that's it.